Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, and today we're going to learn a little bit about how to do an upgrade on a fishing reel that's, well, you can call it hot rodding if you like, but it's a relatively easy thing to do, and it can improve the performance of the reel dramatically. Well, we're going to use a Shimano B-Mag 1000 as an example of this, but any reel that you have that, well, is set up in a similar fashion can be quote-unquote hot rodded. So what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about changing out bushings for bearings. And in this case, this has plastic bushings. So if you were to ask me where that is on a scale of reliability, I would say that's the one that's going to have the most drag, it's going to wear the easiest, and it could cause performance issues. Next step up would be the solid metal bushings, usually made of brass, and then of course bearings. So we're going to show you how to take a two-step upgrade, if you will, from the plastic bushings to the bearings. Well, if you like these kinds of videos, I want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel. If you do subscribe to my channel, please use that notification button. That will let you know when I'm posting, and well, you can see if that's a video you would like to watch. Well, I started out by trying to remove the screws on the side plate, and the screwdriver that I have is just a little bit too broad to enable me to do that, so we'll switch down to a micro driver, see if we can match that up here. There's 4 side plate screws that hold this in, and you want to take that off. In this case, I went to the internet, I checked out the reel schematic, found out that everything is on this side, the 2 bushings, and so it makes it easy just to remove the side plate and get access to both of those. Well, you may have a different setup to a reel, but you may have a similar situation where the reel is not a bearing, and that bearing is going to be free floating. So right now a bushing, well, it doesn't move, and when it doesn't move, what happens is the bushing will cause it to wear rather than rotate. And here's an example of that bushing right there. We're going to take that bushing off, take it out, and well, reset it. That involves this, in this case, the snap ring side, and on this side of the reel, it just popped in there. So let's go with the easy one, because it's a 2-step process. The first thing you got to do is remove the bushing. You want to get a tool that has a hook, something like this, and just kind of walk it in and out, and this will get us the bushing. Now, the next step, of course, is to check the size of the bushing, and then you want to make sure that you have a bearing that is comparable in size. This one I think uses 2 different sizes here. One has a wider side of it, and one has a more narrow side. So to check the sizes, the best tool to do that is a caliper. We can measure the inside. That might be in inches. Let's change that over. So this is 5 on the inside, 10 on the outside, and 4 for the height. So that's 5, 10, 4. I believe the one on this side, I don't think this one's just going to come out. We'll see. Once you've removed the bushings, go to your tray and get the bearings. And I've put these on here just to test them to make sure that they're the right size. And we can just simply snap these in place. That one just falls in place. This one should fall in place on this side. There are no retaining rings or anything with this reel. Snap them in. Let's put these to the side for a moment. We can bring our spool back in. This spool has a habit of wanting to grab its line and push it through and seize it on the side plate. That's okay. All right, next up then, we want to make sure we have this on the right side. I took that cap off to open it up. We're off one position. There's 2 little indents here on this. This is min and max. There's 2 indents there that do the measures against this. Alright, so most of the screws have stayed in the case. That's fine. Bring your case over. Seat it and make sure that it locks in. And we can tighten the case screws down. So we're using a Shimano B-Mag 1000 here, but this works with any reel that has those bushes. So if you're looking for a quick improvement in your performance of your reel at a relatively inexpensive price to pay, this is one of the best upgrades that can be done. Dennis, who owns this reel, I contacted him because we were doing the other piece on this, which was the restoration of the gear side. And when I talked to him, I said, you know, I noticed you have the bushings in here. You can do that swap out pretty inexpensively. If you want to try that, it's going to improve your reel performance significantly. He said, sure, let's go ahead and do that. And that's why we're doing this video. Okay, let's review what we did and give it a final test then. So the reel had plastic bushings in there. We talked a little bit about the disadvantages of these, and one of them is that because the bushing doesn't move, the spool shafts act as kind of arbors and kind of elongate the hole over time just simply by rolling and rolling and rolling through there. That widens the gap and it reduces the performance of the reel. Well, one of the quick and easy upgrades to that is to replace these bushings where you can, if the sizes are compatible, with burrings. And the way to do that is to measure. We showed you how to use a caliper to measure the inside diameter, the outside diameter, and the height, and then replace them with the appropriate burrings. We were able to have them in stock, so it made this easy. And well, let's see how we did. First thing you want to do is put it in a free spool, and notice that, well, it turns nice and easy. You have the adjusters here from min to max in terms of your tension from a casting standpoint, and you set that based on the weight of your lure. Also to note on the B-Mag is that the gear side controls the movement of the worm. So when you go to cast, this does not move like you will find on other reels that have an idler gear on the non-gear side driving that worm. Well, for your information, what you need to do is to center that line guide prior to casting. That way it's got the least travel from both sides of the spool, and you can throw it further than if it was over on one side like this, where you have the line going a very long way to exit the reel. So just a point of note, center your line guide before you do your casting. All right, push that down and the spool spins nice and easy now. There's no noise and it's nice and quiet. There's very little friction, and well, when you go to turn it, it's much smoother and easier overall. Well, that's it. That's how you do a quick upgrade to hot rod the reel and keep this one fishing for a long time to come. I hope you've enjoyed that. Before I leave, I want to thank our first responders, our police, fire, safety, and rescue, everybody involved in keeping us out of harm's way. I want to thank you, the viewers, for watching, for making this channel what it is. And again, I want to encourage you to subscribe if you have not subscribed. And, well, like this video if you've enjoyed watching the content of it. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, wishing everybody a great day.